Hi guys, welcome to another video. Today we're going to start Unit 3B, Day 1, and we're going to be talking about translating from math to words or words to math, and we're going to do a little bit of a review for inequalities. So, I'm going to go through this part a little quick, so if I go too fast, just pause the video. But there's lots of different words we can use to mean like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all that stuff. So we're just going to list a couple. So for addition, some words that mean addition would be plus, combine, together. Sum is what you get when you add two numbers together. The result is a sum. Increase is another one. What else? And when you see only the word and, there's no other words that mean another operation, then and just means to add, added to. And then there's one more word that's a turnaround word, more than. So turnaround words means that however it's written, we actually have to flip it around and reverse the order around more than. So like if we said 3 more than 5, what that actually means is 5 plus 3, the way we would write it in math. We just turn the numbers around. Okay? Subtraction, we have minus. Difference is the result that you get when you subtract, so that's the result word. Decrease, fewer, and it also has turnaround phrase of less than. So if you said 5 less than 3, that means you're going to do 3 minus 5. Okay? Multiplication, we have per that you guys have seen lots of times, times. Product, that's the result when you multiply two numbers together, of, each, and twice. Twice means to multiply by 2. Okay? Division, there's a couple words. Divided by, split, half means to divide by 2. Quotient, and what else? What is this one? And of. Okay? Then we have some words that mean inequality symbols. Okay? So, this is a less than symbol, and we're not going to confuse it with the less than here for subtraction. The way we differentiate them is subtraction is just the words less than. For inequality symbols, we always write is in front. So is less than or is fewer than. That word is tells you it's an inequality. Okay? This one is greater than. So is more than is something we would write. Or is greater than. The next one we have is less than or equal to. We have lots of different words. First one is just saying is less than or equal to. Another word might be maximum, meaning you can be smaller than it or equal to it, but you cannot be more than it. That is the max number you can be. No more than, kind of no more. Everything else is okay. And at most. Those all mean less than or equal to. Greater than or equal to, you'd see is greater than or equal to. Very self-explanatory. Or you might have at least, and these should have is at least. No more than. Or minimum. Those all mean greater than or equal to. Now let's try translating some verbal statements into inequalities. So when we go through this, I'm going to do it with a marker. And you guys could just do it with your pencil and underline. So I just go through and I'm going to read through it first. And then I'll go back and underline some of these keywords that matched what we did up here. So twice a number increased by 4 is at least 19. Alright, so now I'm going to go and underline twice. We used, and that means to multiply by 2. I'm doing this without a mouse, so bear with me. A number. So we didn't really talk about this. When it says a number like this, that means we can't just pick any random number. So if it just says a number, we're going to pick a variable. So I'm going to pick n for a number. Okay? Increased by we used, and that means to add. And is at least. That's something we used. And that meant, what did that mean? I can't remember. Oh, is at least, right there, is greater than or equal to. Okay? Oh, gosh. There, I'll just write through it. So now I just need to put it together. So I have 2 times a number, n, plus 4 is greater than or equal to 19. So that's what I'm going to write. 2 times n, just 2n, plus 4 is greater than or equal to 19. Let's try B. Okay, and I'll use a different color this time. 3 less than, that means subtraction, but it's also my turnaround word. So 3 should be in the back over here. Okay. The quotient means to divide, of a number. A number is going to be my variable. I think I used n, I can't remember. And -5. So this time, and is telling us about what's getting divided. So it's not meaning subtraction, it's just part of the division thing. And -5. And then we have is greater than. Okay? So now I'm going to put it together. So because less than is a turnaround word, the quotient and the 3 are going to go in the opposite order. Okay? 3 is going to go in the back, and the quotient is going to be in the front. So the quotient, we had n divided by -5. You could write it with a division sign. However, we should get used to writing it as a fraction. So we do n over -5 minus the 3. And then right, is greater than 15. So it should look like this. N over -5, the less than for the subtraction, the 3, and then the greater than 15. Okay? Next one, we've got 2/3 of, okay, so of means to multiply, a number, okay, and I'm going to use n still, increased by, which means to add, 12, is a maximum, okay, and maximum means less than or equal to, it's one of our words, of -12. This whole thing is telling me it's less than or equal to. Okay, so I just go ahead and put it together. 2/3, meaning 2 over 3, times n, plus 12 is less than or equal to -12. Okay, so I just do 2/3 times n, so 2/3 m. N plus 12 is less than or equal to -12. That's it. You guys are going to try these 3 on your own. Try your best, okay? Just go through, underline. At the very least, we should be able to see you guys underline them and tell me what they mean. Okay, so you might get a little confused with the order, but at the very least, you could identify what they mean. Okay? So, try those on your own. Alright, so moving on to inequalities. So just a reminder, an inequality is a comparison of 2 expressions. A solution, or a solution to an inequality, is a value that makes the statement true. So any value we can plug in for the variable, that will make it a true statement. And a true statement meaning like 4 is actually greater than 3 or something. When we solve them, we want to get the variable by itself, just like with equations. And we do this by using the inverse operations, just like with equations. So a lot of the stuff that we're doing today is going to be a repeat of equations. The only difference will be when you remember that if you multiply or divide by a negative number, you must flip the inequality sign. Okay? That's the only extra thing we got to worry about. Alright, so we're going to solve and graph the inequality. Alright, so this is just a 2-step inequality. We're going to solve it the exact same way we'd solve a 2-step equation. So the very first thing I'm going to do is get rid of this constant, this -12, by adding 12 to both sides. These guys will cancel out, so I'm left with the 3x. I bring down the inequality sign, is greater than or equal to, and 9 plus 12 gives me 21. Then I'm going to divide both sides by 3. Okay? That'll give me x is greater than or equal to 7. I didn't need to worry about flipping the sign because I didn't divide by a negative number. So this will tell me what all my solutions are. The solutions are the things that make it true. So any number greater than or equal to 7. Okay? So to graph it, your number lines look a little bit better because they're already pre-numbered. I didn't number mine on here, so I just put a 7 here. On the 7, what I'm going to do is, because it's equal to, I'm going to put a closed circle, meaning a filled in circle, on the 7. Okay? And then I'm going to have my line, my arrow coming out of the circle, pointing to everything that's greater than 7. So all the numbers that are greater than 7 are on this side, the right side. So that's where I draw my arrow. Okay? Now B, I'm going to do the exact same thing. Okay? It's just a 2-step. So here, I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides. Get rid of that constant first. The 6's will cancel out. And I'm left with 1/4 y is greater than -4. Now, I still haven't divided or multiplied, so I don't need to flip any signs. Here, I'm going to go ahead. I have 1/4 y. You can change this to 0.25 if you want. If you don't like the fraction, totally fine. But if you want to keep the fraction, there's 2 ways you can deal with it. You could divide by 1/4. I don't recommend it because then you're dividing fractions and it looks all messy. If you're doing decimals, less messy, so it's fine. But if you're still wanting to deal with fraction, the way that I would get rid of the 1/4 is to multiply both sides by, where's it over here? By 4, the reciprocal, okay? 4 times 1/4 will cancel each other out. So I'm left with y on this side, and I get -16 on this side. I keep the sign because I multiplied by a positive number, so I don't need to flip. Now when I graph it, I'm going to find my -16, and I'm going to put an open circle this time on this one because I am not equal to the 16. Okay, so whenever you're not equal, you put an open circle. And then I'm going to point to everything greater than -16. So that's everything to the right. Okay? And then finally, for this last one, we have 3 is less than or equal to x minus 7 over 9. Well, whenever I have a group in a fraction, I need to get rid of the fraction part first. So I need to get rid of this divided by 9 first. I undo the divided by 9 by multiplying both sides by 9. The 9's here will cancel out, so I'm left with 27 on this side, and this side is just left with the x minus 7. Now I can get rid of this minus 7, and I do that by adding 7 to both sides, giving me 34 is less than or equal to x. We never want to leave it like this, with the variable on the wrong side. Okay? So we're going to flip the entire inequality. We're going to change sides here and flip the sign. A way to remember this is, you guys probably learned about the little alligator in school, that this inequality sign is an alligator, and it always goes after the bigger number, and that's fine. It still needs to go after the x when you flip it. Okay? So just make sure it's still going after the bigger number. Okay? So I'm going to move the x and the 34, and then I'm going to flip my sign. So now I have x is greater than or equal to 34. These mean the exact same thing. Okay? Forgot about that. So that is my final answer. I always want to have the x, or the variable, in the front. Okay? So now I'm going to go ahead and graph it. I found my 34. I'm going to put a closed circle on this because it is equal to. So I'm going to draw my circle and fill it in. Not a great circle. Oh gosh. Wow, Scully, what are you doing? And it's greater than 34, so I want to point to everything greater, which is on the right. Okay? And now you guys are going to try these 3 on your own. Give it a try. And your number lines are already filled in, I think. So you guys can just go ahead and solve it and then graph your answer. Okay? And if you guys have any questions, write them down. We will go over them next class. But other than that, that's it for the video. Okay? I will see you guys next time. Bye!